Welcome to the Eye Test, a fantasy football podcast for those who are tired of hearing boring stats all the time. This is episode 27, and in celebration of the official end of the fantasy season, we are doing a way too early first round mock draft for 2023. Me, John, and Paul we're not doing each separate drafts, we're all just going in chronological order. John is the first pick, I have the second, Paul is the third, and so on and so forth. So, John, you have the honor of picking the first overall pick of 2023, and who is it gonna be?
Oh, last year it was between Jonathan Taylor and CMC. We obviously know it's not going to be Jonathan Taylor, but I do think that CMC deserves the 1.1 next year too. He was able to stay healthy this year. He killed it on the Panthers. He killed it on the Niners. He especially killed it on the Niners. I mean, he was so involved in that offense. And so I think that after a full offseason with the Niners, practicing with the team, I understand the quarterback situation will be different, but I don't think that's going to change. I got Christian McCaffrey at the 1.1. Am I crazy? Because I was talking many other names during the season I was saying Eckler, I was saying Jefferson, but I was looking at everything, and I'm going to stick with CMC.
Honestly, it's not who I had as my first overall pick, but I honestly think for the first time in a couple years that there's multiple people that could go first overall. I think there's three solid people you could make an argument for first overall this upcoming season, whereas it's normally like one or two people, and typically there's like a consensus one. But I don't think there's can be a consensus one next season. So I like the Christian McCaffrey pick.
Yeah, I think it might be the safest pick on the board, barring any injury. McCaffrey just constantly puts up disgusting numbers. He gets Kyle Shanahan again with this offense, not making any changes. It's a solid pick. I didn't have him at 1-1 either, but he was definitely in my top three.
All right, let's see what Bobby has for his 1-2.
All right, well, this is the guy that I had as my 1-1 in my mock draft, and it's the guy that probably had the best season individually in the NFL. Different position, too. Usually we see running backs going in the top two picks, but it's a wide receiver. It is Justin Jefferson. Probably not going to get to that 2,000-yard mark that everyone was hoping for, but he's had an amazing season this year, and as we're going to talk about later in the episode, I know we all think there's like a changing of the guard in the top of fantasy mock drafts coming next year. I think receivers are going to start to play more of a role, especially in the first round. And Justin Jefferson, I think there'll actually be a positive touchdown regression for him next year because he doesn't really have a lot of touchdowns this season. So I'm expecting him to score more next season.
Yeah, I think if you were to pick, just like you said, Bob, if you were to pick Jetta's 1.1, there's nothing wrong with that because he was clearly the highest scorer in terms of flex players, taking quarterbacks out of the equation. And my only concern is, will there be a quarterback change for the Vikings next year?
Is Kirk Cousins' contract up or something?
Because he just throws the ball so much, and it just gives Justin Jefferson so many opportunities.
Yeah, but I'm saying, who do you think they could actually change quarterbacks? I didn't even think that was...
I don't know.
I think they're stuck with Cousins because they're going to have too high of a draft pick where they can't really grab a good rookie. And then I'm pretty sure Kirk Cousins' contract is not up, so he'd be dead weight if they cut him. Or I guess they could try and trade him, but who wants Kirk Cousins realistically?
Yeah,
so his last year is 2023 in his contract, so he could move.
Ooh, the contract year next season. Kirk Cousins about to have an MVP type season next year.
Oh yeah, he is.
Seriously, wow.
All right, Jetta's the 1-1.
Yeah. No, but if they were, even hypothetically, if they were to move off of Kirk Cousins, the only guys that, we think are going to be available in the offseason are guys like Jimmy Garoppolo, Derek Carr, Tom Brady. They're all pretty much Kirk Cousins at this point. There's no real major upgrade that they could make unless they were to, even Aaron Rodgers is kind of the same at this point.
True. All right, Paul, you're up.
So I know we touched on it earlier. We do sort of see a changing of the guard here, moving towards wide receivers. But I'm actually staying tried and true. This was my guy who I had as the 1.2. So I had Justin Jefferson at 1.1, and then I have Austin Eckler at 1.3. And then
That's who I had at 1-3 as well.
yeah, so Eckler, the only bad thing I can say about Eckler is he turns that magic number next year. So he will be 28 for the 2023 NFL season. But listen to Austin Eckler's history. So since 2019, when we really saw him emerge, he played all 16 games and he finished as a PPR running back 4. And then he got hurt in 2020, but still finished bottom barrel running back 2, top RB3, but that was missing 6 games.
Holy shit.
Yeah. And then
Wait, how did he do that?
Yeah, so he was still a stud when he was playing. When he was on the field, he was a stud.
Wait,
and then you go into these past 2 years, you go to 21 and 22, he finishes the PPR running back 2, and then this year he is, if the season ended today, the PPR running back 1.
Very consistent top 5 running back for the last 5 years.
Yeah, and that's a big reason why I have Eckler at the 1.3. You're getting a steady, safe RB1 who has the potential to be the RB1, literally. And at the 3rd pick, why not make a safe, awesome pick? This Chargers offense, Justin Herbert's still going to be amazing. The only thing is Keenan Allen and Mike Williams, are they going to be healthy? Are they going to be there? But Eckler's proven even when they're not playing, Eckler's still pretty solid.
And he loves fantasy football.
Dude, he loves fantasy football.
Yeah, he does. All right, so we're going to look at the 1-4 here. And again, last year we would have probably had 3 running backs within the first 4 picks, but I'm gonna change that narrative a little bit. I'm gonna go with a wide receiver, one that was super high scoring, and that is Tyreek Hill.
Wow. Okay.
Just because I think him and Tua are just getting started. Now, granted, Tua needs to stay healthy next year, but Tua missed, 4 games this year, maybe? And Tyreek still put up great numbers. So I think Tyreek's big playability is just so high, and he is that guy on your team where if you are down by 30 points on a Monday night, like, there's a chance you could come back and win. So I think that he is just super valuable, and his ceiling is so high. At any given play, he can have like a 12-point play.
I actually completely agree with you. I had Tyreek Hill as my 1.4 as well, but my reasoning was a little different. I think there's going to be a new quarterback in Miami next year. Really? And whether it is Aaron Rodgers, whether it is Tom Brady, I think they will have an improved quarterback. And if he's doing this with Tua, God, Tom Brady, if you watched him play this past weekend, he still spun the ball really well downfield. I think Mike Evans had a couple big plays. So I think if Tom doesn't hang the cleats up, I think there's a chance he goes to Miami. Wow. And that would just be the greatest thing ever for Tyreek Hill.
That is spicy. That's very spicy. I like it, though. I do like it. That would be really epic for Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, for that matter.
I mean, I wonder if they're just going to try and – because they have Tua for 1 more year, I think, very on the low on his rookie contract. So it seems, if we're thinking logistically here, that it would make the most sense for Tua to be the quarterback.
This is his 4th year, right? So they can not pick up his 5th-year player option.
Oh, I thought it was his 3rd year.
You might be.
Because it's Jalen Hurts' 3rd year. And Jalen and Tua were in the same draft class.
Fair enough. I think you're right.
So that leaves it to me.
The 1-5.
The 1-5. And I actually had someone. So I had Tyreek Hill a little lower in the first round. But I think I do agree. He definitely should be higher. He should be more. I had him at the lower end of the first round. But I definitely think now, after listening to that and just looking at the player list again, I definitely think he should be in that conversation for top 5 at the bare minimum, like mid first round. And I'm actually going to change up who I took with the 5th pick, because my 4th wasn't taken yet. I originally had Saquon at 1-4.
Whoa.
I'm going to change that to Devontae Adams at the 1-5. I think Devontae Adams, the questions have been answered about him, and pretty much the question was, can he survive without Aaron Rodgers and be fantasy relevant? And he really exceeded expectations. I think no matter what happens with Derek Carr this offseason, he already showed with Jared Stidham that he could put up amazing fantasy wide receiver 1 numbers. So I don't think it really matters who the quarterback is. Like you said, John, and you always say, is draft talent. Pay attention to talent. And Devontae Adams has the talent. He's a top 2 wide receiver in the NFL.
Yeah, I wonder where Derek Carr is going to go. That was just like it came out of nowhere. And I mean, it made sense. Like they were like, okay, we probably want to try and trade Derek Carr. Let's keep him healthy. But that was just like such a quick breakup between Derek Carr and the Raiders. He was on their team for so long.
Yeah, apparently Derek Carr was one who requested to leave.
So would I, dude. And you saw
I think that's such a pussy
Devontae Adams
move.
may not be on the Raiders next year either.
I know. I just think that's a pussy move. Like, you just shut your mouth. You be the third string quarterback. You let everything else. You show other teams that, like, hey, I'm still a team player. Because other teams could be looking at this and being like, oh, you got your feathers ruffled a little bit and you just walked out, went home like a baby, tucked your tail between your legs. Like, I think that just doesn't sit well with a lot of GMs, where I think it would have worked better if Derek Carr was just like, you know what, fuck you. You want me to be the third quarterback? That's fine, but you're going to have to cut my ass. I'm not going to – he has a no-trade clause, so he can say, like, don't trade me. You're going to have to cut my ass, pay me my money, and then I get to pick where I go.
Wow. It's a good take, Paul. It feels like you've been storing that in you for a while.
I heard that on the local radio because, of course, with Lamar, not to go on a tangent, but with Lamar, they were like, some caller, he was like, you think the Ravens should go after Derek Carr? And that's how all that came up.
Oh, that's funny.
So first 5 picks, 3 receivers, 2 running backs. That's got to be the first time that's happened in years if this is actually how it goes, which clearly, considering how early we are in mock draft season, fantasy season's not even technically over. Yeah, this will most likely change as we get closer and closer, but it's nice that we're doing this just to give everyone a little sneak peek of what next year is going to look like. Because as of now, the only ones that are similar are CMC and Justin Jefferson in the first 5 picks.
Yeah.
I guess Eckler, he might have been right around 5, but
Eckler
Devontae and Tyreek Hill were nowhere close.
I think Eckler, he was a keeper in our redraft league, but I think he was going like number 3 overall last year too.
He was ranked as the number 5 overall. I think it was the fantasy award episode that we were doing a couple episodes ago, and I remember talking about how like Eckler was in the same range as Najee, Swift, and Derrick Henry, and so that would have been like the 4, 5, and 6.
I don't think Swift was that high though.
Yeah, I think Swift was like a 2nd or 3rd round pick.
Yeah, Swift was not that high, but
really?
Yeah, let's move on. Who's got the next pick? Is that Paul? Paul's up now.
It's me.
Yes.
1-6.
It's me. So my 1.5 is still on the board. I had Devontae Adams actually in the bottom part of the first round.
Really?
Not that I don't love Devontae Adams, but I went a little safe with my first round picks, I'll say. And so who I'm going to slide into that 1-6 is going to be Stephon Diggs.
Okay.
I know.
Dude, that's crazy.
Yeah. I know I called him second. I know I called him unclutch in a previous episode, and I still low-key stand by that. But do not get it twisted. Stephon Diggs is the focal point of this offense. He has arguably the best quarterback in the league, not named Patrick Mahomes, throwing him the ball. He is 14 targets, 10 catches, 100-plus yards, and a touchdown every game, it feels like. And so I think you're getting a very consistent, tried-and-true wide receiver 1. He's got great chemistry with his quarterback. His quarterback can fucking sling the rock.
Oh.
They don't like running the ball. I'm going Stephon Diggs.
Stephon Diggs is 100% a first-round pick, Bobby. 100%.
I think there's a lot of other guys I would hands down take over him.
Dude, like his floor is really like 14 points. He had one 10-point game against the Ravens in like week 4 or 2 or something like that. He had 3 14-point games, a 10-point game, and then everything else other than that was higher than 14 points until the worst time of the year. But you can't let recency bias affect next year's draft picks.
He probably should be a first-round pick. I agree with that. I didn't have him in my original mock. I think there's definitely guys that you could switch up with him, but I don't know, man. There's like he had that like crazy streak in the beginning of the year. There's something about a Josh Allen-led offense that I just don't like.
How?
Yeah, how do you?
There's nothing that's changing about that.
Josh Allen's a fucking ball hog. Like,
what?
You know what I mean?
He passes the ball more than he runs it.
He vultures touchdowns like it's his fucking job.
Oh yeah, I know, but
running backs, I guess, yeah, but
yeah,
he still that's still technically taking it away from wide receivers too. If he's getting a bunch of goal line carries, I do agree that I should have Stephon Diggs in the first round, but there's plenty of other guys. I'd rather have Cooper over Stephon Diggs, hands down.
Next year, dude.
See, Kupp fell for me.
Kupp is gonna miss the whole entire offseason.
Dude, what do you mean? He has a high ankle sprain.
He tore his ACL, I thought.
No.
Really?
I don't think so.
I just don't trust the situation in LA right now.
Yeah, you're right. It was not an ACL tear. I remember because they were like, yeah, it doesn't require surgery or something like that. Or they were like,
yeah, he's not like
a month that he's out. And then they were like, we're actually just going to sit him.
They only didn't bring him back this year because they were in last place and they have nothing to play for. He probably could have played again if the Rams were close to relevant.
I forgot. Oh, yeah, it was a high ankle sprain. Why did I think it was an ACL tear?
I think because they said he was done for the year, maybe.
I would still have Diggs over Kupp regardless, just because we don't know what the quarterback situation is going to look like.
You'd rather have Diggs over Jamar Chase too?
Yes.
That's tough. I think I'd rather have Chase. It's a close one though. Chase just gets more touchdowns.
And Jamar Chase should have next season, assuming he stays healthy, should have positive regression as well. Agreed. I feel like
the only knock on Chase for me is that look at their wide receiver twos. The Bills is Gabe Davis, who's a bum, and T. Higgins is a dog. So there's going to be, when you have Jamar Chase, there's probably going to be 3, 4, maybe even 5 games a year where they're T. Higgins games, and Burrow just peppers Higgins. True. That's the only thing that scares me.
I agree. All right, so that leaves you, John.
Yeah, and I'm honestly, we're all in the same general area so far. I had Devontae Adams as my 1-6 and Diggs as my 1-7, but this guy still hasn't been picked, so I'm going to pick him now. So this will be our 1-7 here, and that'll be Josh Jacobs. I think he is deserving of a first-round talent. We don't know anything about his team that he's going to be on next year, or his quarterback or head coach even. We don't know what's going on. So as of now, Josh Jacobs is a middle-of-the-round first-round pick for me.
I had Jacobs a little later in the first round, but I still gave him some respect for his season that he had this year.
I had Jacobs at 1-9.
Okay. Oh, I had him at 1-11. I had him the lowest.
Yeah.
But I think the biggest thing with Jacobs, obviously you said it already, John, is that where he's going to end up. But let's just assume he stays with the Raiders.
Yeah, you got to go off what we know now.
Josh McDaniels is still going to be the coach. He's going to probably get the same amount of volume next season. Again, we've talked about it before. It's probably just more of now you're taking him higher and it's more risky at that point as opposed to getting him at a bargain price in the 5th round. But exactly. He's definitely earned mid-first round value at this point.
Especially in a PPR league. If he keeps up the catching volume, I'm not saying it's going to be very hard for him to do better than this season next year, but if he can put up anything similar, I mean, hell, if he went from 30-point games this year to 25, I'm not going to be upset.
Yeah.
So that is my 1-7.
Wow. So we already talked about him enough, so we won't harp on it too much, but this is an easy pick for me. I think if you get Cooper Kupp at the 8th pick overall, you're getting an absolute steal. He's not seriously injured. He's not going to miss any time. Just had a high ankle sprain. I understand the concerns with how the Rams maybe will look next season, but from everything we've heard so far, Matt Stafford is going to be the quarterback again. Matt Stafford only throws to Cooper Kupp. That's not going to change if McVay is still there. If everything stays as is, Cooper Kupp is going to be an easy top 5 wide receiver, and the 8th pick is a steal for that. He was going. He was in the top 5 last season too. So easy pick for me here.
That's a good one. Yeah, that is great value for Cooper Kupp.
And it's a great argument, Bob, that you said, where even in the disarray this year, as long as Matt Stafford and Sean McVay are back, there is literally no reason why you should assume that Kupp is just going to fall off a ledge. Like, even when the Rams were dog shit this year when Kupp was playing and healthy, and he still was going stupid. I think he was the wide receiver 1 for a good portion of him being healthy.
Yeah.
Him, Diggs, and Jefferson and Hill were just like consistently battling.
I kind of regret now taking Devontae Adams at 5 and not Cooper Kupp at 8. I wish we could switch both of them right now, but regardless, Cooper Kupp is going to be a stud again until Matt Stafford retires.
And that's why you do these way too early ones right now. You talk yourself out of the kinks. You talk yourself out of,
Yep. All right, Paul, who you got? Are we going running back, or are we going to keep the – oh, no, we had –
I know what Paul's going to do, and it's –
I'm going to take Travis Kelce.
Yeah, buddy.
Okay.
I agree, dude.
A big portion of this is that I am just so tired because I feel like the last couple of years I've had these late, towards the middle, but more late first round picks. And the past 3 years, I convinced myself that Travis Kelce is not the person I should draft, that I have to get a running back or a receiver. And so what's the saying? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me 2, 3, 4 times, shame on me. So Paulie Walnuts does not get burned by the same flame 3 times, baby. So this is what we're doing. We're going to take Travis Kelce here. He looks fantastic. He's been healthy all year, knock on wood. And he puts up wide receiver numbers, and you get him at tight end. And there's so much depth at wide receiver this year. Every year, it seems like. So having a tight end that I don't even have to blink about, the only one we talk about being consistent, I would love if I have the 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, whatever pick, I would love seeing Travis Kelce on my team.
Yeah.
I agree.
You took the words right out of my mouth, Paul. It's like he's a tight end. It gives you positional advantage in the first round, and he's putting up wide receiver numbers. So why not just do it?
I had him.
Bobby has done it 3 out of the last 5 years, I feel like, and he makes the championship every year. So
yeah. But I had him at 110. So, yeah, definitely the range that I'd be targeting Travis Kelce with. But I also don't think it would be crazy if he goes more towards the mid part of the first round, just because, like you said, with the positional advantage and everything. So, we'll see. And he's always durable. He's always on the field. You never really have to worry about him missing time at all. I think the only thing maybe you're not even really concerned about, but something you in the back of your mind a little bit, is how long is he going to keep this up before his age starts to show a little bit?
Yeah.
Very true.
He's definitely not a spring chicken. He's going to be 34 next year, but
dude, he's been the tight end 1 since 2016.
Yeah, and Tony Gonzalez played until he was super old too, and still played very competitively. So these tight ends are big physical specimens.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Tony Gonzalez on the Falcons was really good in fantasy for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's about to have his best year. His best year so far is 2020, where he had 311 PPR points. However, he's at 306 right now with still one more game to play. So, yeah, he should have his best fantasy year this year.
All right. So that brings us back to John.
Yep, and this guy was pretty much drafted at this spot last year. I got him at the 11th spot, and that is Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley was very consistent this year. He was healthy. Me and Paul spoke about him last episode where, the only thing that you can shit on Saquon for is that he just doesn't have any multiple touchdown games. He
Yeah.
only has touchdowns where he scored 1 touchdown. It's like, all right, whatever. He's still the main focal point in the Giants. As long as they have shitty receivers, Saquon Barkley will be the main focal point of that offense. Plus, Daniel Jones likes to run the ball himself, so I still see a run-heavy offense as their scheme for next year, too. And I could see Saquon going even earlier than 110, honestly. Names like Josh Jacobs, maybe Devontae Adams, I can see Saquon going in front of. I'm not saying Saquon could be a top 5 pick, but I just think that the 110 is a little late for Saquon. I have him as my 1-9, though. So, I mean, it's really not that much different.
It's not that crazy, I don't think. But I had him in my original one, and now that we're talking about it, I am starting to reconsider some things. But I had him as 1-4 originally, so I think he could actually have an even better season next year. Like you talked about, he's always going to be the focal point, I think, no matter what, when he's on the Giants. But if they actually get some wide receiver talent in there, take some of the pressure off of him, open up more opportunities for him, he could have an even better season next year.
I agree.
Yeah, the only thing about Saquon is I'm pretty sure he's a free agent after this year.
Oh, so it's a contract year next year?
Yeah.
No, I don't think.
And I don't know the Giants. We'd have to ask Giants fans because I know the going theme in the NFL is don't pay star running backs.
No, I thought Saquon already got his contract.
You might be right because he...
Or is he? I don't think he's a free agent.
He's a free agent after the 2023 season.
Okay.
Oh,
no,
wait.
he's undrafted in 2023. This is his last year.
God.
Wow.
This is his last year. He's an undrafted free agent next year.
He's going to get the bag and then just suck like Kenny Galladay.
The Giants aren't going to let him go. There's no way.
I can see the Giants being a team that pays their running back because they're like, this is all we have.
And they want to build, like the Giants already showed this year that they're improving. I don't think you want to take the main focal point of your offense away when your team's finally showing improvement.
Yeah. I wonder is Daniel Jones a free agent? He is. So they could say, peace out, Daniel Jones. We're keeping Barkley. This actually makes the most sense. They're going to say, peace out, Daniel Jones. We're keeping Barkley.
I think they're going to keep him.
I think they're going to keep Danny Dimes too. I think they're going to keep both.
Yeah. The Giants actually, Danny Dimes has been low-key pretty good this year. I think Saquon stays. So that leaves it to me. And, wow, a couple of these guys I had higher on my board. So this is a tough decision for me. I'm between a running back and a wide receiver, and that's Derrick Henry and Ja'Marr Chase.
Me too. Those are my last 2 picks in the first round.
Not me.
I had these guys actually higher up. I'm saying this is the pick I would make now.
Oh, so, then, yeah, you should just do the higher one.
I don't know. I think I would go. No, I'm going with Ja'Marr Chase here. I think he's going to have a better season next year. I think there'll be positive regression with him. And although I think Derrick Henry's still going to be Derrick Henry, I just think there's more upside with Ja'Marr Chase.
Yeah, I love Ja'Marr Chase. I had him at the 1-8. I actually had him right after Saquon. I had Saquon 1-7, Ja'Marr Chase 1-8.
I had Ja'Marr 1-8 too.
Yeah, and so I love Ja'Marr Chase. Joe Burrow's a stud. They play super well together.
All right, Paul, bring us home. Last pick of your way, way, way too early 2023 mock draft.
Yes, so I hate to break your hearts, but Derrick Henry will not be a first-round pick this year.
Wow.
Dude, by the way, real quick, Paul, if Derrick Henry were to get drafted there, then everyone in my first round would have been drafted. Maybe not the same order, but that would have been all my names.
I would have one missing.
Yeah, so because I get to round out, all of my first-round picks are in here, but that's because I have the closing. The only really difference is I didn't have Henry in my first round. But I'm going to make John really happy here. I'm going to put A.J. Brown.
That's who I had as my last pick in the first round.
I have him as I had him and I changed him out. I brought him down a couple ones. But, dude, I love the A.J. Brown pick. I think that's sorry, it's your pick. Go ahead.
No, it's fine. But John,
Birds!
John, I know you love him, so I'll honestly let you take it away here. But my biggest argument for A.J. Brown is he has been absolutely fantastic this year, and the Eagles have been rolling. Jalen Hurts comes back. You can only see Jalen Hurts improving. I don't think Jalen Hurts is going to get worse. And so I think A.J. Brown's going to light the world on fire.
Dude, I love that you did that because I had it, and then my thought was like, it's a PPR league. Running backs still do take advantage over wide receivers. I know it was different this year in terms of like total scoring, but I do think that there are some running backs on this board, which we will talk about now tomorrow, that I think you have to grab in a PPR league. So if this was a standard scoring league, A.J. Brown would totally be up there for sure.
So before we go, my one argument here for A.J. Brown is that once Barkley goes off the board, then you're left with some running backs, and you can argue Derrick Henry, but you're left with running backs where you're like not fully confident that they're going to be top 5 running backs, where with A.J. Brown, you can feel confident that you're getting a potential top 5 receiver with top 3 upside. Look at him. 26 years old.
25. Oh, he's 5 this year. Wow.
Yeah, he's the 5th best wide receiver. And in our draft, he is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th. So that is amazing value for A.J. Brown for a way too early 2023 mock draft.
Of course. I like that pick a lot. A.J. Brown exceeded my expectations personally this season, and I would definitely be looking to draft him at this point in time at the end of the first round. Great pick.
Dude, I love this. Like, we actually know what we're talking about, and that's the coolest part. We're actually really good at this.
All right, so before we do our little outro, let's recap the first round of our way too early mock draft.
Sure. So the 1-1 was CMC, just like last year. The 1-2 is certainly not Jonathan Taylor. It is Justin Jefferson, as he was the highest scorer of all. Oh, wait, no. Eckler was actually the highest scorer, right? So Jefferson was definitely the number 1 receiver. Then we got Eckler, who was the number 1 running back this year, going at the 1-3. Tyreek Hill at the 1-4. Devontae Adams at the 1-5. Stephon Diggs at the 1-6. A little bit of a wide receiver run there. You got Josh Jacobs finally finding the first round. Congratulations to him. Cooper Kupp, whoever Team 8 is, gets amazing value in Cooper Kupp at the 1-8. Then you got Travis Kelce, who has been falling at the end of the first round, early second round. He finally hits, we'll call it middle of the first round, 1-9. Saquon Barkley pretty much staying exactly where he was drafted at last year. But we think that he is going to do better than just the 10th best player right there. So Barkley, amazing value at the 1-10. Jamar Chase, the 1-11. And A.J. Brown finding his way into the first round thanks to Paul Orlando.
I do it for my boys up in Philly.
All right, Bob, you want to send us away?
Yep, I'll wrap it up. Thank you, as always, for listening. This was episode 27 of our way too early NFL mock draft. Catch us tomorrow, where we will be doing our way too early mock draft for round 2 of 2023. Thanks, as always, for listening. We are on all your lovely social media platforms. See you guys next time. Peace.
See ya. John, did you make your Be Real Us recording too?
Yes.
That's cool.